So that's just fine. Okay, well, looks like it is 5:30. We have a couple of attendees here.
Who is not here on the board? Is McIntyre's not here? Oh, wait a minute,
Damien's not here right now.
I'm here.
Oh, McIntyre is here. Okay. And who is not here, did you say?
Damien Nichols.
Mr. Nichols, that's right. Okay, very good. I forgot about the little arrow to the side. I needed to click that to see who else was there. Very good. So everybody but Nichols is here. Very good.
Okay, well, let's see here. I will go ahead and call this meeting into session. I was just trying to check and see how many of our attendees and whatnot we have here before I really get going. It's obvious which two applications they're here for. Are they allowed to, I guess, check in as we go, or do they have to be here right at 5:30? Or how
people can arrive as the meeting goes on.
Okay.
I just got a text from the Hamiltons.
I see one of them listed there.
You do? Okay. They just texted me and asked if we could see them.
Yes. Yeah. I've got them, which is great because they're the first application.
Okay.
That being said, the first item of business today is to approve the July 6, 2020 minutes. If you have a copy handy or if you've read those previously before our meeting today.
I had a comment on the minutes. I think it's on the copy that you guys received on the Team Goliath application. It mentions that there were comments from David Lesby. Those aren't applicable to this because he wasn't
I thought
here
I
on
took
this.
those out. Did I not get you the updated copy?
No, not the updated one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whoever makes the motion, include as part of that the comments about David Lesby commenting need to be taken out. I've got a corrected copy. I'll get that to you tomorrow, Matt.
Okay, that'll work just fine.
Okay, that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting with the omission from application C of any comments referring to one David Lesby. Does that sound appropriate?
Yes, because that was a discussion that went on in a totally different meeting.
Right. Oh, yeah. I was a little confused myself. So, okay. Well, that's my motion.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded, and we'll move that to a vote. All those in favor? Okay.
I was not here, by the way. I was not at that meeting, so I didn't vote.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Motion is approved, and we'll move right along. Let's see, we've still just got the two attendees here, and are we doing the procedure of as they speak, you'll swear them in individually, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes, sir.
I will eventually get the hang of this. I'm starting to get better with the Zoom. So, okay, moving right along to new business, we have application G-2020-15. Denny and Bill Hamilton are requesting administrative review to allow a continuation of a non-conforming density at 225-229 East College Street. Again, this is a continuation of existing non-conforming use.
Do you need me to speak to that?
Yeah, if you'd like to, absolutely. Then Mr. Perkins here will swear you in as well appropriately.
And who's that, Denny?
It is.
Do you swear or affirm the statement you're about to make to be the truth to the best of your information and belief?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Hamilton, any comments you'd like to make regarding this application? We're here to listen, and then if we have any questions, we'll let you know, or if you have any questions for us.
Okay, I appreciate that. The only thing I'd like to say is that our intentions were to bring the existing structures to a better quality and to current building codes and standards. But once we started tearing out some of the walls, we discovered there were not 2x4 walls. And in tearing some of that out, the corner of the roof dropped, and it seemed more practical to take it down to the foundation as opposed to trying to rebuild and stabilize it that way. That would be about the only way that we could get wiring and plumbing and everything back to current standards as opposed to the substandard condition it was in.
Now,
We're
does
not
it-
asking for any of the setbacks to be changed. The existing foundation is, or the original foundation is still there. We intend to shore that up, but we wanted to make sure that we were able to move forward and reconstruct the house before we did that.
Okay. Do you all intend to renovate or reconstruct all three of those little cottages there, or are you just considering?
No, our intentions are to make the improvements, and I don't know if you received a copy of the drawings, but they will be a lot better and a lot more impressive for the neighborhood than what they currently are. But we're going to do, our intentions were to do one at a time. And I'm certain that we're going to find that the others do not have studded walls either.
Yeah, I walked past there one day and the one building was there, and then the next day it seemed like it was gone. So there must not have been too much to it. So,
No, when they started tearing out some of the interior walls, the corner of the roof started falling, and the people doing it said, we really need to take it all the way down because rebuilding it would be impractical.
right. Well, I've always thought that could be a cool little area, and looks like you all have good intentions for it. So just to be clear, it'll just be this one application that will cover all three of those cottages if need be. The applicant won't have to return for each renovation, correct? And then they move through
That is my
building
hope.
inspector. Okay. Okay.
And I don't know if it matters to this board or not, but the building inspector has indicated that we need to put firewalls in each of the ends of the building, and we have no issue with that, and submitted those plans as well.
Right. You're going to have a lot of fun with doors and windows and double drywall and all that. I'm sure they're eager to give you all those instructions.
I've got them. I'm okay with it.
Right. Now, does anybody have any questions for the applicant or any concerns in general?
We have one, he hasn't raised his hand, but we do have one attendee that had reached out to me by email. He's representing, I believe, the Georgetown Baptist Church. I don't know if he has any questions or not, but I may just, if it's all right with the board, I may give him the chance to speak so we can at least see if he does have any questions or anything.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, this is David Graham representing Georgetown Baptist, and I got on a little late, but no, familiar with what you all were talking about there, and I don't think we've got any questions. No one had indicated to me that we had any concern going in it. They just asked me if I would be willing to be on the call, so I said yes, and I'm here, and so it all makes sense to me what I heard. I don't have
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Mr. Graham, just to make sure that the world knows you're telling the truth, would you raise your right hand? And is what you have just said and about to say the truth to the best of your information and belief?
Absolutely.
I believe that was a yes.
Oh, was that a yes? Okay, very good. Thank you.
You can put that on me. Well, it all sounds good for the neighborhood in general. The drawings are nice. Like I said, I've always thought that little area could be a cute little thing. So
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we approve it based on staff recommendations.
motion has been made, needs a second. Or I'll second the motion. We'll take the motion to a vote. All those in favor by sign of aye. Any nays? Don't seem to be. Application is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Not a
Have a
problem.
good
Have
evening.
fun.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on now to application G-2020-16. Joangela and James David Button are requesting a variance to reduce the side yard setback from 12 feet to 7.5 feet to construct a rear addition on their house at 637 South Broadway. Let's see. I thought, oh, okay, you've already moved them up to panelists. So Mr. Button, if you'd like to say anything regarding your application, Mr. Perkins will swear you in.
If you raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm what you're about to say to be the truth to the best of your information and belief?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
I don't know how to make it work.
I don't know if you can hear me. We're kind of new to this Zoom stuff.
No, you're just fine. We can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. We am I supposed to be saying something or?
Yeah, sure. Any comments you'd like to make on your application? It's all seems pretty straightforward here. I see that if you use the existing lines on your house as it were to continue straight back with your addition at the angle there, it begins to encroach on your side yard setback there. But it does, the addition does extend directly off the back of the house. It's not like you've gone any further that way.
Right. It's pretty basic. Where the addition will be is a deck now. We did walk over and talk to the neighbors on both sides of us, and they both said they didn't have a problem with it.
And Matt, I'm sure you contacted fire department.
I send a copy of our packet to the fire department every month. I didn't get any comments back. I was actually going to mention one thing, I guess, that I think is good about this application is that, you know, they're still planning on maintaining at least 7.5 feet from that side property line, which, you know, assuming the other neighbor also, you know, maintains their 12 feet, or if it ever gets reduced, you know, down to potentially 7.5 feet, there would still be that 15 feet between the two buildings that the fire department likes to maintain.
Well, and even so, it seems like the driveway and parking area for this home next door is what's up to the property line there. So it's not like really there would ever be anything from the opposite property that would really even come close, you know, so to speak. So I don't see it infringing on the neighboring property at all, as long as they're visually okay with it. I'm sure it'll be beautiful.
Uh-oh.
Anybody else have any questions for the applicant or concerns regarding the application or their plans?
No.
Well, I'll make a motion if nobody else will.
Motion has been
Keep
made.
it up, Barbara. We like it.
I'll make the motion to approve it based on staff recommendations.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded and shall move to a vote. All those in favor by sign of aye. Any nays? No nays. All right. Thank you all. Motion is approved. Enjoy your addition.
Thank you.
So much.
Okay, before moving on to the next two applications, which are in a sense made by a single applicant, Charlie, you can tell me your wisdom on this. Are we able just to consolidate these two applications, or should we just move through them and treat them as separate? It doesn't matter.
I would suggest the hearing portion itself, treat them together and then have two motions at the end.
Okay.
And that way the record is clear, but we don't have to go through the same thing twice because I'm assuming it's all going to be the same kind of testimony.
Right, right. Well, just for legality's sake, application G-2020-17, American Mini Storage at 1047 Paris Pike is requesting a conditional use permit to allow a flagpole exceeding 32 feet in height at said address. The overall height of the flag shall be, was it 45 feet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I did want to point out just briefly with this application and the next one, the agenda incorrectly states that they're requesting variances, which is, in my mind, typically what would happen if there was a dimensional increase. But the way the ordinance is written, it calls out that if they want to go taller, it's a conditional use permit. So that's why the staff reports call them both conditional use permits. So if and when we have a motion, let's proceed with that language.
Okay, thank you. Conditional use noted. In regards to this application and the next, and the reason why I was, asking Charlie what I was going to ask is, it's gotten to the point where I kind of refer to the city of Georgetown really big American flagpole precedent. So that being said, in that general vicinity, that area of town especially, we've seen a number of taller flagpoles go up recently. There's that car wash by Walmart. There's the camping facility, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure Matt knows better than me. There's probably multiple. Those are the two that stick out in my mind. I know one for sure exceeds the 45 feet, I believe. Yeah, like I said,
A little bit, yeah.
The city of Georgetown really big flag precedent. That being said, I will make a motion to approve this application for a conditional use permit for a flagpole exceeding standard height. And that's just for this application.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Moving to a vote. All those in favor? Opposed? No nays. Application is approved. And then moving on to the next application is G-2020-18. Again, American Mini Storage. However, the site is at 209 American Path. Again, 45-foot tall flagpole exceeding the 32 feet standard as ever by ordinance. Again, I will cite the precedent as it were, and I will make a motion to approve this application for a conditional use permit, allowing a flagpole exceeding 32 feet.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded, moving to a vote.
Excuse me, who was the second? Oh, same. Okay, good. Thank you.
All those in favor by sign of aye. Opposed, no nays. Thank you. Application is approved. And then, let's see here. And then moving into G-2020-19, Georgetown College is applying for an extension of their conditional use permit to place a 6x30 monument sign at 100 Crawford Drive. Let's see, do we have,
The applicant is not on the call.
does that have any bearing necessarily on?
If staff had recommended denial or something, we probably would have recommended we wait to the end of the agenda and then maybe even talk about postponing it. Since it is recommended for approval and fairly straightforward, it's perfectly fine for the board to go around with this without them present.
Okay, does anybody on the board have any questions, comments, concerns regarding the application?
No.
I'll make a motion based on approval with the staff recommendations.
Motion's been made, needs a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, that was Moore and Williams.
Yes.
Yes.
Good, thank you.
Motion's been made and seconded. We'll move to a vote. All those in favor by sign of aye. Any nays? No nays? Thank you very much. Motion or application's approved, excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. Last application here, G-2020-20. Jennifer Baldwin is applying to.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, this is next to last. We have one more after this one.
Oh, well, pardon me. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Anyway, not the last. G-2020-20. Jennifer Baldwin is applying to transfer an existing conditional use permit for a salon or beauty service to a new owner at 301 North Hamilton Street.
The applicant's not on for this one either, but based on my discussions with the applicant and the materials she provided, it seems as though the intention is really just for somebody to take over the existing business and just move it forward, basically operating in the same manner.
Yeah, that's the existing Colonial House of Beauty, I believe. So,
I believe so.
did anybody have any questions, comments, concerns regarding the application? Seeing as there's no questions, comments, concerns, controversy, all alliteration aside, I'll make a motion to approve the application based on staff recommendations.
I'll second.
Barbara? Oh, Vicky?
No. I didn't-
It didn't sound like Vicky, but my screen says it was Vicky.
It was, yes.
Okay, very good.
All right, motion has been made and seconded. We'll move it to a vote. All those in favor? Any nays? No nays? Application is approved. Okay, now the last application, excuse me. G-2020-21. Tricia and Vitold Bozek are applying for a variance to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to 30 inches along Walnut Street and the rear yard setback from 25 feet to 52 inches along Wright Alley at 321 Gannett Avenue. I believe we do have them in attendance, correct?
Yes.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Mr. Perkins, if you'll swear in the applicant. And,
Yes. Do you swear or affirm the statement you're about to make to be the truth to the best of your information and belief?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you have anything in particular you'd like to clarify about your application or any questions for us or?
Yeah, so we're just replacing an old structure that was there. The old structure was 24 feet by 28 feet. And so the new one is going to be in the exact same spot that one was, but much wider.
I know there's an existing structure there, but the few times I drove past the property to kind of eyeball it, I wasn't really able to see anything at all because there is a fence there. If the board would like to take that into consideration, that I don't know that from the street visually, it makes any difference for anybody else in the community. Like I said, I wasn't able to see even what exists in the backyard personally. So you may take that into consideration.
And also, as far as the easement's concerned, the garage will have a front and back garage door into the yard. So if for any reason the city needed entrance into the yard, there would be an entire garage door on the back of it for access if that's the issue.
There's not a structure. No, I do. I mean, you didn't. He thinks there's a structure.
Oh.
Sure.
Oh, my wife wanted me to clarify that the structure's not there anymore, Shirley, so that's why you couldn't see it. We already had the contractor take it down with the understanding that he was going to take care of the permit.
Well, even so, there is that full privacy fence there. I don't know if it was 6 feet tall or what have you, but again, obviously I'm sure the structure would be taller than, but the property is fenced in.
So are there any easements that, I know he mentioned an easement. Is there anything on the property that anyone in the city would have to have access to, or is there not anything there? He's just stating if they needed access.
Just if you needed access, we already had utility checks. There's nothing in the backyard, not even sewer over there.
Okay.
And I believe Matt had stated that he hadn't received any commentary from the fire department about any applications, specifically this one.
No.
It seems, I guess, at one time you had proposed putting the structure in a different place, the new garage barn, what you may call it. Any particular reason why you decided to attempt to move it back to the far rear corner, or?
I never wanted it anywhere else than there.
Okay.
The guy we worked with before tried placing it in a different spot, but that would require taking down 2 more maple trees, and they're trying to avoid that.
Okay, not to put you on the spot or anything, Matt, but you've recommended denial of the application. I just didn't know if you had any other commentary within context or maybe direct questions for the applicant.
I mean, not in particular. Mostly the reasons why I was recommending denial aren't that I'm opposed to a variance being granted. I think my concern was mostly the size of the variances being granted. I mean, I can understand sort of the Walnut Street, kind of putting the building kind of where it was before, but to also be, I guess, that close to the alleyway or the rear property line. In addition to that, seemed like, I guess, kind of a large variance to be requesting for a lot that is fairly sizable.
Yeah, I can understand that. And I think what kind of sways, my opinion, potentially towards approval is the existence of that privacy fence there already. So to me, as a passerby, it just looks like there's already something there. The fence is as close as you can get it to the road, obviously, or sidewalk. And then the applicant has clarified that the reason why they don't want to put it any further off the setbacks is existing trees and whatnot. Did anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns for the applicant or thoughts they were having?
So as far as the alley that you're talking about, it would only be, I think, a few inches, maybe 6 to 8 inches more of a variance there. I think the variance, originally we can do 5 feet, and we're asking for, what is it, 48 inches? Oh, so it's about a foot more. Yeah, you're right.
Just while we're splitting hairs, about how tall do you anticipate the finished structure to be?
It's 12 foot.
On the previous record.
Yeah, same as the previous structure.
How tall is the privacy fence?
6 foot.
6 foot, okay.
The grade is kind of steep up there, so even though it's a 6 foot fence, it kind of looks like it's 8 foot in some areas. So if it was the full 5 feet off of the alley, would that help?
I guess I can't remember exactly what is in the opposite side of that alley. I presume it's somebody else's backyard. That would just kind of be my only question in regards to that.
Yeah, it's I mean it's the side of a house that faces on Walnut.
Yes, it is. And then that house is held pretty far to the furthest property line as well. So it's got, a decent amount of buffer, heaven forbid anything happen in your new structure, et cetera. And then of course there's Walnut all the way over. There's nothing except pavement and trees. And again, that home is centered on a very large lot. And then on the opposite corner, it's considerable distance away also.
So I just want to make sure that I'm understanding it. Whenever I'm looking at the actual, the property, is that the building's going to go all the way almost to that red line on the back where the alley is?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And that would allow us for access to the garage for parking off of Walnut Street. Otherwise, if we tried doing it off of the alley, we may as well have to have it attached to the house, which again would require us to remove more trees and deal with a lot more grade there as well.
Did I understand that you would be agreeable though to doing the 5 feet off of right alley, but leaving the very small setback from Walnut?
Yes, if that helps you guys, that would be fine. Basically, if we were asking for that variance off the alley, because it left a small area that wouldn't really be usable for a yard. So we wanted to push it all the way back. But if that's something that you guys have a concern with, then that's okay.
So the property's fenced. Is it fenced all the way around?
The backyard is, yes.
Okay, so the backyard is completely fenced.
That whole corner where that new building will be, it is, because as you go down and you turn left on right, like I said, I was not able to see in the applicant's yard at all. And he is right, especially that back right corner. It does sit pretty high off street level. Even though the new structure would potentially be 6 feet taller than said fence, I don't really think you can see much of it. I personally don't see a whole lot of reason to come off the alley anymore, especially because that other house is held so far over. And I can completely understand having to mow a really weird dog leg that's just going to turn into weeds, I'm sure, you know. I don't know if anybody else has any major concerns with the application as is.
Brent, I don't have a problem with it as is.
I'd say we're all in agreement. Anybody care to make a motion or any further comments?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Right.
I'll second.
I was going to say if we could, as part of the motion, reference the findings that the applicant mentioned, the grade of the property and the trees that they'd like to preserve. I know it doesn't come up that often, but like tree preservation is something that the comprehensive plan mentions as being a goal of our community.
Right, and I think that lends credence to the approval, and especially down the road, if somebody else comes in and says, well, you gave this guy a variance for 0 inches, where's mine and why? And I agree with you, Matt. I think context is important. It'll keep Charlie from having to do so much on the fly digging way down the road, maybe, right? So, okay, do we need to amend the motion, or will Mr. Perkins make note of that, or?
Well, so far I've got 2 of the things that you all stated, the presence of the privacy fence, preservation of tree.
And then the grade of the grade.
Yeah, the grade comes off of Walnut Street, correct?
Yes.
Okay, anything else?
If that suits you, Matt, I believe the motion has been made and seconded.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, and we'll move the application to a vote. All those in favor by sign of aye. Any nays? Motion has, application has been approved. Thank you very much.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, could I add to that, which I usually do, and I hadn't looked yet to make sure, that would still be subject to the staff report because Matt included in there, if the board approved, then could you also incorporate? So movement and second, could I incorporate into your motion and that it's still subject to the staff report?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, that concludes our actual meeting. But did Matt or Mr. Charlie or anybody else have any pending business comments, dinner plans?
One, thank you all very much. We've never had 7 applications, much less 7 applications in 38 minutes.
I know.
I just want to be the first one to congratulate you and thank you.
Yeah, I was a little concerned when I got to my mailbox, but like I say, once you start citing our Georgetown really big fat flag precedents, it kind of pared it down a little bit.
That was helpful.
Yeah. Oh boy, decisions and how they ripple. Anyway, so other than that, I don't have anything. So Charlie, every now and then, if depending on what happens by next month, I might reach out to you and see how that other thing is going. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll get asked again before then. I just happen to live near there.
And I'm sure we should have the next step in process by next month. I really kind of expected it by this month, but I'll probably have the report whether you can answer or not.
Good, because I keep having people call me and ask me about it.
Yeah, well, right now, Barbara, were you here when I answered Rhett's question earlier?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I bet some of the people asking you or some of the people asking me.
Probably right.
Yeah, probably so. Okay.
I would like to just add one last thing. I'll probably be reaching out to all of you just by email about some online opportunities for HB 55 hours. So just kind of keep an eye out for that.
Okay. Do we still have a vacancy, one vacancy?
Yes. I was mentioning before, I'm going to reach out to the mayor's office just to see if they've got any updates as far as their search for another board member.
Okay. I think that was the only other thing on my mind would have been the vacancy. I can't think of anything else. Obviously, it's not important. Okay, well, I won't keep you all any longer from your primetime TV, and don't watch too much news. It's not good for you. Stay off Facebook. Okay. See you all
Now
next
you
month.
tell me after I'm already hooked. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just take a walk, Charlie. I haven't seen you on the bike in a while.
See you all. See you
All right.
all next month.
Bye.
Bye.